The pie slice and pie values plugin within the presenter folder is one way to create pie charts within Vizrt. So we're going to set up an example scene here quickly. So we're going to go into our geometry plugins. We're going to use a cylinder and drag that into the scene tree. Let's just go in to the cylinder settings here and adjust the height of this cylinder flat a little bit. We're going to go ahead and rotate this a while so that it faces us. You can just use the plus 45 or the negative 45 signs there to rotate it. We just want to be able to see it. At this point, if you want to drop some type of material on it and or image just to give it a little bit of color, we can do that as well. We're not going to worry about too much about design. In this case, it's more about functionality. Next, we want to group this container, and now we want to rename these containers. Naming conventions aren't a big deal for this particular plugin, but the structure of these containers is a big deal, so we'll need to pay attention to that. I'm just going to name the top group here values, and we'll just call the cylinder here pie slice 1. So now we're going to go into our built-ins back into the presenter folder and use this pie slice and pie values. First, the pie slice is going to go onto our cylinder container, the one that we named pie slice. The pie values is going to go onto the topmost container here. We're going to go into our pie slice first. We don't have many options in here to adjust. We have an object min and an object max, which will adjust once we get this all set up and functioning. We also have a offset and a text offset. So at the moment we can't do anything with these. We need to add text. So that's our next step. We're going to go into our server. We're going to go into our font tab, grab some type of font, and we're going to drag it as a subcontainer of this pie slice or our cylinder. So now I'm going to go back into my pie slice, and it has our control text values. I'm going to change that to integer, and we're just going to initialize it. Now I'm going to come into my pie values. Since we don't see our pie slice, actually, we need to increase our value here just to start seeing something. So within our pie values, we have what looks like a lot of options here. I'm going to ignore everything at the moment and come down to value 0. That's our first slice, and I'm going to increase this. So I'm going to increase this up a little bit, and you can see that our pie slice grows. However, we are missing the text. Now, because we rotated it in the very beginning and our text is a subcontainer of that cylinder, that means our text got rotated along with it. So we need to kind of rotate this back so that it faces the camera and we can see it. So I'm just going to put it at 90 degrees roughly. We'll see it. And again, because it is a subcontainer, it's taking on that color material. If you want to change the color material, just drag a new material on it. A couple more tweaks that we'll need to make here. You can see that the text is now kind of inside of this pie slice. If we were to copy those containers, it might get in the way. So we have a text offset within our pie slice, and we can come over here and increase our pie or text offset so it's on the outside. So depending where your cylinder or pie slice falls, you know, this is going to be different usually every time. So now that we do have our one pie slice working and functioning properly, obviously we'll probably want a couple more slices of the pie here. So we just need to copy this. So there's one pie slice and two more pie slices. So in total we have 4. Now we go into our pie values, and we have our options for value 1, which we can then increase. Our value 2, it's another pie slice, and a value 3. Now to tell the difference between the colors, we can just drag new materials on here and we can see where each of these slices falls. So let's go back into pie values again, and you can see with 4 different colors here, if you adjust each one of these slices, that it's going to affect the other one. So now a couple of other options that you have in here. Again, you have a pie min and a pie max. This will just help you adjust where or how far these pie slices are allowed to go. What's the minimum maximum number of that? You have a min value and a max value of that as well. There's also a scale. So as you take this down, you can see how this is actually going to scale this animation up or scale the pie slice up if you wanted to keyframe it. And then slices, again, we'll do the same thing. So you can add or take away slices within these. Other options that you have, if you go into your pie slice here, you can actually offset our pie pieces too. So if you come into each one of these into the pie slice and just use this offset, you can see that it's creating a gap between each one of these pie slices. From here, once everything is functioning, it's really just a matter of designing this the way that you want. These materials may not be the best. You could add some texture onto it. You could obviously rotate this any way you need and then come back and rotate the text as well. So design one end, functionality the other. With the pie slice and par values, it's an easier way to create interactive pie and bar charts.